Hi everybody. Y'all can see that I am still working from home. This is my last day in self-isolation after being around somebody who was sick. I never ended up being sick, which is great, but today's my last day to be at home. So what I am about to talk to you guys about here is what's going on in class this week. So I made an announcement earlier and I'm just going to pop that on the screen. So let me move my camera. Let me actually go to our course homepage first. So this is the announcement I made about an hour ago, or a little more than that now. Your Building 2.2 assignment is due tonight. Now, the last I checked, about 11 people had turned it in, 11 out of about 50. So I'm still looking for a lot of these to get turned in by midnight tonight. So don't forget that that's due. In class tomorrow, we're starting part 3, and that's the last of the scaffolding steps for essay building. And I'm about to input here. I've posted the instructions as it says I'm about to, but I'm posting them here. It's going to be due Thursday at 11:59. So at the end of the day, Thursday, this last scaffolding assignment is due, and the essay is still due next Monday, which has been on the schedule the whole time. So this is what I want to point out. It'll be impossible to do essay building 1.3 if you've not done 1.1 and 1.2. So if you come to class tomorrow and you haven't completed the first 2 scaffolding assignments, I'm going to ask you to leave and go to the library or somewhere else on campus that has a computer and do those. So you'll be dismissed from that class because there's not any point in coming if you haven't done 1 and 2. There's also not any point coming to class tomorrow if you're not able and willing to work in the classroom on writing, because we have a writing workshop, that's what's scheduled, and it will be to complete essay building 1.3. So essentially everything that I'm about to explain to you in this video is exactly what you will literally be doing in the classroom tomorrow. And if you don't bring a computer, you're going to be doing it by hand. I always have students write by hand in regular semesters. We always actually do all 3 essay building assignments by hand in class, and then they type it later. So it's not necessarily like a punishment to do it by hand, but know that if you come to class tomorrow without a laptop, you will be writing by hand. If you come with a laptop, you're going to be sitting quietly and writing on your laptop to finish essay building assignment 1.3. So that's just a little tidbit of what's going to be happening in class this week. The reason that is the case is because the essay is due a week from today, and all your attention should just be focused on that. So that's why our class period is going to function the way that it will. So if you go to content, and I'll link this on the homepage when I sign off here, but it's all the way down at the bottom, essay building assignment 1.3, the very last of the scaffolding assignments. I'm going to click the Word document here. So what you need to do is download this Word document, and you will see that there's 2 parts in red. The instructions, I think 3 actually. Yeah, 3 places that have red font. That's where you need to fill in the form. So I'm going to print out a few of these for class tomorrow if you show up. I'm just going to hand you this exact same thing, and you're going to write on it by hand or type on it, like I said, if you have your computer. But you need to download this form to turn it in. And to be able to turn it in to me, you need to download this form and fill out the instructions. So let me explain what this assignment is. So in 1.1 and 1.2, you generated most of the materials you need to build the body paragraphs of your essay, including topic sentences, evidence, which is in the form of a detail, and analysis. For this assignment, we're building our introduction and thesis statements. So when you turn in your final paper, on Monday, all that will be left to write from scratch on your own is your conclusion. So in other words, when you finish this assignment, you'll basically have a rough draft of your paper. So that's really good news. Now moving on to what I'm asking you to do. When you write a thesis statement for any paper, and you guys have done this already in 1101, but you remember that it's the most important sentence of your paper. It positions the argument that you will make in the body paragraphs. And in our class, as well as in most English classes, the thesis statement is the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. So what I have students do to write a thesis statement is focus on the trope and the significance of it in one sentence. If you peek down here, you'll see at the bottom I have a template for that. So author focuses on trope in order to show something. But this something part is really hard to write. Like the first half of this sentence is easy. The director of it focuses on innocence in order to show something. But again, the something is hard. So here's how I have you brainstorm that. So if you'll recall back to that previous worksheet when you made all those topic sentences, you remember that a topic sentence doesn't just point out a detail, but it points out why that detail mattered. What was the meaning? What was it positioned for? What was its message? So you made all these little mini arguments in your topic sentences. So what I ask you to do right now is actually copy and paste those topic sentences into this form. So you're going to go back. This is why you have to have that other form to do this one. So you go back, look at all those topic sentences, and copy and paste them over here. So you'll just have like a bulleted list of your topic sentences. And you can think about that as an outline. I'll ask you to read over them and consider, what do they have in common? Each deal with your trope through analyzing a distinct detail. What patterns are you seeing emerge? What overall argument is the author making when they use your trope? You don't have to answer those questions in the document, but through brainstorming those questions, you'll often figure out this something, or the main point, the fill in the blank. So after you've done this kind of like brainstorm work, you're going to end up writing a thesis statement here. Okay, that's kind of part 1 of the worksheet. Part 2 has you write an introduction. So in our class, an introduction, in any class really, a good one introduces the text, the director, and gives some context. It gives the reader an overall sense about what the film, in this case, was about. So you illustrate some of the main points, but also I always tell students this. You need to make your introduction biased towards your argument or biased towards your trope. So for instance, if you are dealing with like gender roles, let's say that's what you wanted to talk about in it, and you write a whole introduction that has nothing to do with gender roles, or it doesn't mention moments in the text where it's important, like you could sneak preview some of your details to help do that, just briefly highlight some of the main points, you're going to have a weaker introduction if it doesn't pretty quickly start connecting to the thesis. So the whole point of the introduction is to summarize the text for sure, but also to lead into your argument. Make the case that this film really does deal with your idea. And like I said, sneak previewing some of the details in the introduction can help. Or maybe you've thought of some other moments, like if you picked 6 details, or if you think about this. You remember y'all picked 6 details on 1.1, but I think you only used 4 of them for 1.2. Go back to what you didn't use from 1.1 and sneak it in here as like a detail to include as part of your summary that is already along the same lines of your thought about that trope. Okay, you're going to write the thesis and introduction on this document. So you'll type it all in here, just like the 2 other moments. So you'll be able to have the whole thesis and introduction on this document here. So you'll just, again, type it in right here. So, like I said, once you finish this, most of the paper is complete. Like I said, if you come to class tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to have that printed out, or you're going to be typing it up on your own. So keep this in mind. If you don't come to class, I can still take a look at your thesis statement in an email. If you are confused about it, or if you need to brainstorm a little bit more, you can send it to me in an email and I can give you some feedback. I'm always available to do that kind of thing because I know the thesis is probably the hardest part of the paper to write. So I am here to help you with that stuff. But of course, if you come to class, we'll talk about it there too if you need me to look at anything. So that's the plan. So hope you guys are able to stay on track with this work and keep up the good work for turning in that final paper. So I'll touch base with you guys again this week and see you next time.